Hi there, this is David and welcome to the top 10 best PlayStation towns, Square Enix non-Final Fantasy edition. The PlayStation is a mighty powerhouse of RPGs, and while the SNES groomed us with standard classics that we still love today, the PlayStation opened up the floodgates with such a variety of RPGs to choose from, it's easily one of my favorite consoles. And with RPGs come towns. They're one of my favorite aspects of the genre, and they're just as varied and diverse as the games themselves. So, just as I did with the NES Towns videos, I'll be splitting this up into 3 different videos. One for just the Final Fantasy games, one covering non-Square Enix games, and this video discussing towns from games created by Square and Enix that are not Final Fantasy. So come and join me on this nostalgic trip to my teenage years. Number 10. Corona of Threads of Fate. While I did have some problems with the minigames in Threads of Fate, the hub town of Corona struck such a chord with me that I still do want to highlight it here. Most action RPGs have throwaway towns that are pretty much just there for an inn and a weapon upgrade, but not here. Square spent their time making Corona feel alive. It's a tranquil seaside village, tucked away on the edge of multiple ruins, which unfortunately attracts some nefarious people who have come to loot, pillage, and steal for their own selfish desires. But don't tell that to the NPCs who are unfailingly nice, warm, and welcoming. Their dialogue changes depending on whether you're playing Rue or Mint's quest, and then also depending on which chapter that you're in, giving the town a nice sense of realism. There's plenty to explore, and you can examine just about everything as well and find secrets tucked away in hidden alleys, behind the homes, and in the shops. Number 9. Rootville of Saga Frontier. This is such a strange game. You never know what you're going to get whenever you start up a Saga game, and no place encapsulates that vibe like the otherworldly, dark, grim, vampiric nightmare world of Faxina Turu. Set in eternal darkness and accompanied by Baroque music, the castle is littered with coffins and speckled with otherworldly glowing crystals and flowers. Not only is the town great, but the story that takes place here is well structured and filled with charming characters, unlike some others. The story, narrated by Gina, involves a mysterious girl waking up from a nightmare and covered in blood. She then has to explore the gothic world from top to bottom to find out who she really is. No other place in the game makes you feel so detached from the real world, and that concept is fitting because Acelis doesn't really know where she is either. You're just kind of lost and you have to survive by your own wits to escape. Number 8. Falrod and Falrish of Dragon Warrior 7. More so than any other game in the series, Dragon Warrior 7 is a game of towns. With each land that you go to, another town opens up, each of them with unique culture, tragic tale that unfolds, and friends to find and assist. All of the stories are moving in their own ways, but the stories here has really stuck with me throughout the years. It was the first truly complex city with several main characters and many different things going on, and as the clock mechs turned on their masters, it finally showed the existence of a greater evil. The entire island is a large jump up in difficulty from what was previously offered, and it's nice that you really do have to finally utilize the limited skills that the game affords you at the beginning. There's also a sense of dread as the army begins to fortify the town to deal with the robots' looming attack. Then there's Zebits feeling that the townsfolk deserve what's coming to them. But what really got to me after all these years since I've played is what occurs back in the present day. Zebit has long since died, and his companion robot Aerie doesn't seem to understand, so she's been making him soup in hopes of him feeling better for years. It's a touching, tragic tale. Number 7. Lumina of Legend of Mana. This is probably the most memorable town in the game. Lumina is a peaceful respite that fully embraces the beauty of night and can be seen only under the glow of hundreds of lanterns. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I first started playing Legend of Mana, I was disappointed. I wanted it to be more like Secret of Mana, but this game marches to the beat of its own drum, and I have learned to appreciate it. Each area comes with its own associated quests, and most of these are rather run-of-the-mill, like killing a bunch of enemies or talking to various NPCs. That's boring. But not here. For better or for worse, Lumina is known for its trademark quest. Essentially, you'll be selling lanterns to dogs to help a centaur screw a siren. Yeah, it's quirky, to say the least, but here's the real kicker. In order to sell those lanterns, you have to learn the Dudbear language. That's the key. I remember writing down all the words and definitions on a notepad, then going around and shouting it up with them while having an enjoyable romp through this beautiful town. Number 6. The Lost City of Dipan, a Valkyrie profile. Valkyrie Profile isn't exactly a game known for its towns. Normally when one is shown, it's just for a quick vignette of a particular character's death and not actually intended for exploration. But Dipan is different. When you first arrive, the place is completely in ruins, ruled over by the vengeful spirit of the slain king. You then explore those ruins, just as you would any other dungeon in the game, before being magically transported back in time to see Dipan at the height of its glory, just before its downfall. But the real cool thing here is that you're actually transported back into the time of the prequel, when Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria takes place on the PlayStation 2. In the first game, you'll only get a taste of what the city has to offer. However, the entire history of Dipan in all its glory will be revealed in the second game. This is a smart tie-in between the series and a wonderful combination of gameplay, lore, and plot. Number 5. Fun City of Star Ocean, the second story. All the towns in this game are beautiful, filled with houses to break into, treasure to steal, and unwilling victims to interact with. There's absolutely nothing grandiose or breathtaking about the towns. They're pretty much just really down to earth, and the music is very serene, especially on Expel. Importantly and easily overlooked too is that each city has its own culture. Too many times RPG developers will fail to create diverse cultures around the world except for maybe an obligatory Far Eastern town. But here each region is distinctly different. Of all these fantastic towns, the one that sticks out to me the most is Fun City, which you may just think is your typical amusement park type area, and yeah, there are games to play, but more importantly, it is related to the plot. You come here to unwind while Mirage makes the ultimate weapons for your team, but unfortunately, the wise men catch wind of your party just lazing about and try to get a jump on you. So instead of fighting them in a simulator like you were supposed to, you get to fight the real deal in a battle royale against 3 of them here. Number 4. Termina of Chrono Cross. Say what you will about Chrono Cross, but they really did nail the ambience and atmosphere of El Nido's towns. Grillin Village is a relaxing seaside town set in a lush tropical environment, and it couldn't have been a better place to begin the adventure. However, as a starter town, I took it out of the running, and I've chosen Termina instead. As another seaside town, it resembles Mykonos. With its alabaster buildings and many layers of activity, it feels very alive, especially because you're constantly running back and forth here to recruit characters, complete side quests, and flesh out your party members' backgrounds. The sheer amount of characters that you find here dwarfs all the other towns in the game. From the Speedo-wearing and annoying Korcha, to the real-world references of Van and Go in their gorgeous mansion, to modern-day Medusa over here, that's just scratching the surface. Also, if you guys are anything like me, you know that you created a separate save here so you can go down all 3 of the branching paths that occur as you infiltrate Viper Manor. Number 3. Bledavik of Xenogears. Xenogears was a watershed game in so many ways. The world building, passionate storytelling, dungeon design, and of course, the towns. Bledavik is the capital of Ava, and as such it actually looks like a capital, with multiple districts and areas to explore. The city is absolutely bustling with people, from the jam-packed marketplace to the hidden streets and alleyways, which twist and turn strewn with secret passages and hidden treasures. But it's not just the treasures that are secret here, there's also events hidden around town that are only opened up by poking around and doing things that you wouldn't normally do, like playing hide and seek 4 times, watching balloons float away into the great beyond, breathing fire, swimming into a fish tank to grab sunken treasure, and let's not forget the festival going on with additional minigames to play for prizes too. I always like when games split your party up for story reasons, and here it's doubly interesting. Faye enters the tournament, and concurrently to that, while everyone's distracted, Bart swims down the waterway to find and rescue Margie. Xenogears raised the bar in many ways, and I'll always be thankful for that. Number 2. Grillin Village of Brave Fencer Musashi. Let me tell you, it has been a minute since I've played this game, and I've forgotten most of the plot, but the hub town still sticks out in my mind. I think what I like most about it is that there's plenty of interaction, both with objects and with the inhabitants. Also, the lighthearted and humorous atmosphere of the castle town really sets the tone for the rest of the game. Musashi has a great sense of humor, and the villagers kind of seem in on the joke too. There's always something to do, and the NPCs are pretty occupied themselves, with each of them following a set schedule throughout the day, similar to Radiata stories. Only here it was done years earlier and on older hardware. As the NPCs have their own lives to worry about, just about all of them put Musashi to work with various side quests that you can choose to do. However, be warned, if you don't do them, there will be consequences that affect the village. Stores may close, people could move away, or even die, so do make sure that you take care of those residents. And finally, number 1, Solaris of Xenogears. This game is just chock full of so many good towns I couldn't pick just one. From the starting town, which so perfectly sets the scene, to the bustling kingdom of Norture, to an enemy territory high in the sky, I could do an entire video ranking the towns of this game. In Solaris, we're firmly in enemy territory, and once your party of lower world lamb scum infiltrate the city, you'll find that the gravity is reversed, and that it's a draconian society ruled by nobles who enslave the lower classes through the use of ID cards and drones which monitor their every move. Third-class citizens pretty much just live to work as they eke out their meager existence in tiny pods, while the houses of the first-class citizens are literally built on top of them. While here, you'll sneak through a trash dump, encounter the Emperor, and uncover all kinds of dark secrets. And since you're essentially spies here, you can't explore it fully and openly, so you're just kind of sneaking around and you'll leave the town still wanting more. Not being able to explore the entirety of the sprawling metropolis is part of its wonder, mystery, and charm. However, it is a joy when it comes crashing down to the ground. Well, that's it for the top 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been David. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.